Hey, welcome back to Desolation. My name is Lawrence.
And I just remembered what I was going to say about World of Warcraft, William.
And this is Substandard Roleplaying. Just so you guys know, we were talking about World of Warcraft before we started.
Yes, and the problem is there's no game designers that like games anymore. There's only people who know how to program.
Okay.
They do it from passion.
And right after that comment, we're here with KC.
Who has lots of passion.
KC from Questing GM, who doesn't play WoW.
And Dave.
Who I'm very passionate about.
You're very passionate about Dave?
Yeah. Who plays games on
Twitch.tv.
Twitch.tv/Taurus. Go
Wow,
subscribe to
we just
Subscribe for free if you have Amazon Prime.
We just totally screwed up the intro there, but whatever.
Thought you were keeping that.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna keep that.
I don't think we screwed up anything.
Yeah, we improved it.
Yes, that's right.
It was dynamic.
Okay.
People just come to this video for the first 30 seconds. That's what happens.
That's why our retention rate is so low.
Great. What did we do last time? Basically, we screwed up William's plans last time. That's what we did last time.
That's what happened.
I became the Scarlet King.
I killed Grom. I'm
Not
happy
quite,
with that.
Yeah, you killed Grom. Pages killed Calum.
And then you became the Scarlet King, and then we are now basically captured.
I became Flaming.
We became hostages to the Eclipse, and we are off to see the Eclipse.
I love that after all of that accomplishment in your little dirt hole of Duggle, you're still captive.
Yeah, basically. Dave's a little disappointed right now that nobody heard his flaming joke, but anyway.
I realized after I said, I'm like, you know what? It's okay if that one doesn't fly. See, this is what I like to know. I like to know that even when it's not acknowledged, and it burns into Lawrence's soul. You know, it hurts him every time I open my mouth. He cringes, knowing full well that I live vicariously through the bards of this world. Is that everything I say is a meme?
He's not cringing. It's a reflex. It's a wince of pain as you chip away this concrete that surrounds his heart.
It's a
Bit
cringe
by bit.
reflex.
You get through him.
It's a race to see either I, have a heart attack first or the campaign ends. We'll see which one happens first. Anyway,
when people, it's just a reflex he has when he watches me stream, or some might call it a reflex. A Taurus. That was a stretch. How you doing there? Is that some bad heartburn I see on your face there?
No. I'm cool.
All right.
Okay, so William, take it away, man.
I don't know what to do. You guys are walking. Oh, you have to go get your
We had to talk to the
things
townspeople
for the
first.
tree. Well, yeah,
Yeah,
you have to deal with them.
no.
You have to go collect your stuff for the tree. You have
Yeah,
a lot
so
to
the-
do.
Yeah, so basically what I want to do, essentially what we've done is in my as far as I'm concerned, is we have proven our I would hope and earned the trust of the people in the village. Like, we've said, listen, we're going to renegotiate this. None of them had to go. Like, to me, we've bought a ton of sway with them. Hopefully we could have. So I think we're gonna go and tell them, look, listen, we're gonna go deal with this. At least for now, we'll buy us some time. We're taking Calum and Grom. Yeah. And we'll be back, and we can have an open forum when we return, and to discuss the future of our settlement here.
So
Your settlement here.
yeah, so that's what he says. He goes outside and he starts saying all this shit to the people who are congregated. I'm guessing somewhere.
Not everyone's congregated. Some people are around.
They're probably all like, What the fuck just happened?
We're taking over. You are now our slave. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. No, I'll just go. I'll just turn back to them and I'll say, we will be going with our visitors here, and we'll be taking the bodies of the of Grom and Calum, and you all can continue on doing what you do. When we return, we can reconvene and discuss the future of the settlement. And
Make the first roll of tonight or
Sure.
morning for you.
Uh,
Doing some kind of persuading thing.
yeah, let me see. Linguistics, I guess charisma.
Yeah, Christmas good.
That's not good at all, actually. But I
but-
will use 3 style points
Ooh,
because I feel like this
stylish.
conversation is going to be important.
Mhm.
I would like to help with this by looking menacingly in the background. I have intimidation, more than 4 ranks in it, right? So I should be able to add a couple of dice to Dave's roll.
I'm trying to be like, it's okay, guys. It's okay.
They
He's-
know what I can do. I'm the
You know
freaking
what?
silent killer in the background. You
Yeah,
better
exactly.
freaking listen to what the Scarlet King says, is what I'm doing. Anyway, I have more than 4 ranks in it, so I should be able to help, right?
Yeah, sure. You can help him.
So how does that work? I just add dice.
At 1 dice, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm rolling 4 charisma and 1 fuck you dice. Okay.
Literally. Yes.
1. I got 1.
You got 1.
That's awesome.
See,
Um,
but it was your die. It was your die that. So really, they're just intimidated. 1
Yeah.
for 1 in intimidation. Meanwhile, I'm like, hey guys, Scarlet King loves you.
Don't you have a skill in linguistics?
Linguistics, yes, but that's more like language, like understanding.
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, not like these people would understand anything he had to do with linguistics.
Okay, new plan, cages. Come on, man.
Hey, you don't know. We just
I need to see.
Cages
To
is
see their
literally the
reaction first.
talker. Why are you talking? Go, Cages, go.
It's the Scarlet King.
Yes,
He-
but you're
don't need
the
to
servant
himself.
of the Scarlet King.
I just-
You're the Scarlet King's herald. You're
Yeah.
the Scarlet King's voice.
Yeah.
Go.
Which is
Talk to
literally the
me.
same thing in this cult.
To me, I feel. I'm just saying. Yes, I only got 1 success, but if I'm talking about a DC, if you will, I mean, we just saved all their lives. I mean, to me, I don't need to say anything. I'm just saying.
We did save all their lives. That is true. They
No,
don't.
anyway.
We're bargaining with the DM. Right
Yeah, but
now.
I'm
That's what I
still
think.
waiting for. I mean, Cages will still have to wait for a reaction from the
Yeah.
crowd.
I'm just looking
Well-
up the rules for helping right now. Hold on.
That
Was
should
it
be
only
okay.
1 dice? I thought it was at least 2. Where would it be? Hold on.
It
Well,
would
to the
be
speech.
page 166 and 167. I suspect it's 167
1 6.
under skill, synergy, and teamwork.
Okay, I'm pulling that up right now. And taking the advantage. You are wrong. It is not on page 167. You guys keep going. I'll take a look.
Well, there was a very lukewarm reaction to everyone that was around listening. Not many people are hanging around, like, to see what happens. So they're scared. There's the Eclipse dudes in there.
That makes sense.
All right. So I guess it's time for me. So I can read the room, right? I can read the mood of everyone and how they're reacting to this.
Yeah. So, like, exiting the chapel thing. There's the only people that are really hanging around you recognize as people that were, like, at Callum's beck and call.
Oh, that's strange. I thought they would be the first to leave. Okay, I mean, whatever's left, I guess it would be considered the so-called inner circle.
Yeah,
the
something like that.
staff. Yeah. So I guess it's probably a good time to like give these guys a pep talk. So what I'm probably gonna like propose to these guys, and speaking on behalf of our new Scarlet King, since the Scarlet King will be away for a while, he needs somebody to make sure that everything's still going as usual. And the idea is to propagate that the Scarlet King is here to bring safety, as it did with Callum before that. And you guys are, the ones who are remaining are the ones who are the best people to like spread it around. Like, talk to these people in their private homes, talk to these people in the taverns, talk to these people at work. We don't need to have like a mass congregation of spreading the word, but just do it internally, and so to speak. So I'm ready to make a persuasion check to tell them to do that.
Let's do that.
Hold on. So
I'd like to give you 2 style points because that was very moving.
The synergy and teamwork thing, it gives you +2 bonus per skill that I'm helping you with.
Cool.
So yeah, Dave should have rolled an extra 1, basically. And there are actually rules for modifiers as well to the situation.
It didn't make a difference. I rolled another odd.
The response goes from lukewarm to tepid.
Just for the future, though, should we need to...
Yeah, no, that's good to know.
Nice,
I just
right.
realized my kettle wasn't plugged in.
So I'm still there. I'm
Yeah,
still
no.
looking intimidating. I'm still helping.
You see, there are...
So if I'm
Maximus
going
is
to
just
make
flexing behind you.
I'm gonna
sharpening
make
axe.
Yeah, it
the
just pulls out
bow.
a whetstone. Just
Yes, and just start sharpening the axe right there.
making eye contact.
You know what? I think
Your axe has gotten very small from all that sharpening.
you know
Metal
what?
is precious.
Considering how well the Scarlet King did on his rolls, I think I'm just gonna take the average for mine. So it just so that was 8 divided half of 8, which is 4
Okay.
for my diplomacy. I think that should be good enough.
The dudes that are around listening, they can see the point. Yeah, you can see like that they've, they're ready to man up and take responsibility. They're not happy about it.
We need you guys just as Callum needed you guys. So feel valuable.
All right, all of you need an experience point because you came today.
Oh shit!
Okay.
I had my camera on for that.
God damn it!
Thought I turned that off. Oh, you mean
Oh,
showed
and
up
I
for the
got-
yeah?
and I
Okay,
got-
yeah.
And
No, I
got
see how
2
blue
that-
you are.
Aw.
Can't hide from me.
Shall we keep going?
All right. So
One
what are we
experience point,
bringing?
right?
What are we bringing to the Eclipse? Are we bringing anything to the Eclipse?
Weapons.
Good
To
question,
them?
boys.
2 dead bodies. That's...
Yeah, I was gonna say we're bringing the 2 bodies to be strung up, but what have we become?
We're bringing 3 bodies, aren't we? I thought Tyrell included.
Yeah, Tyrell bit the bullet.
Okay, well, sure.
Yeah, that's.
But
I actually
that's what
forgot
we.
about
Yeah, I mean, there's 3 of us. Plus the 3 of
Oh
them.
no, my side character.
that. Oh no! Oh. Oh.
All right. Yeah, but and at the same time, we are not bringing. Actually, could we use the knowledge that Kane copied as tribute? Like, we were talking about.
Let's not
Offering-
make them more powerful.
No, but we were talking about offering tribute, not in terms of.
Yeah, we were
soldiers.
talking about maybe food or something, right? Or other
Well, it depends what
materials.
information. I mean,
information
we could
is
determine-
important.
it is. We could determine what kind of information would be. Yeah, but then again, they're not going to accept anything as tribute unless it's something that can benefit them.
Yeah, which is
Well,
the kind.
we haven't even
the current
gotten to
information that we
the
have is what
we-
Kane has.
we haven't even gotten to the negotiating table with their leader, right?
Right.
like their actual
Well,
leader back in the north. And
yeah.
Kane has this information. I'm assuming he's memorized it by now, right? I mean, you have this
Totally.
information with you, so you're a scholar. Of course you'd know. Anyway,
I'm good at survival. Berries blue, good for you. Berries white, they're full of shite. Wait, no. Was the berries blue bad for you? Berries white, they're alright.
either way, yeah, I don't think there's much that we can take now. Yes? Like we have the weapons that we have the food that we've got the dead
You have
bodies to string
magical
up on the
farming
tree
implements.
that they don't need to know
But yeah,
about.
I don't think we want to offer that up.
Yeah, we don't want to
Or
offer that
anyone
up.
wants to offer that up.
For now, they're happy because they've received their tribute, right? So let's just go.
I don't know if they would say that they're happy. They
But-
were content. They seem to be content with our temporary solution that
Right.
we're going with them to discuss more. So yeah, for
Yeah,
now it seemed
they
like they
are.
were okay.
Taking you personally.
Right. So the
Yeah.
next step
Sorry,
is to
I,
go.
what, I'm drawing up. I know we just said it like 16 times. What's the name of the faction again?
The
The
eclipse.
Eclipse.
Eclipse. Thank you. I was drawing. I'm making notes. I could totally drew a blank there. I was like,
Oh yes, we're going north with the sunspot.
yeah.
So
So I guess that if there's no preparations to be done, I guess we can be on our way.
I don't think we have time to do preparations either. They're just probably going to take us. Right?
We had like a couple of days. I thought
No.
we are
No,
leaving immediately.
they said you can go talk to the people and then they're
Right.
taking us. So there's no time
Okay.
to get ready anyway. Let's go.
Okay.
You-
Okay.
You are the tribute now.
I seem to recall that we had a name for the guy, the current warband leader.
Yeah, there was a name.
Starts up with an
Redver,
R, I think.
Redver or something. Redveer? Something like this, right?
Do you not say?
Yeah,
It's Redver.
Redveer. Redver.
Redver, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Put on our red cloaks and be on our way.
The red cloaks. Good.
The only thing that I'm looking forward to about this is being able to travel without having to worry about fighting off a bird on my own.
They'll charge down 20 wolves.
Yeah, right. Now you don't have to worry about chasing away vultures and hyenas. So, traveling with these people, they are making you walk, which is a bit mean. No one's
It's
getting
okay.
off their horse
I'm levitating behind them all.
for you. That's a lot of heartburn.
Yeah. Oh.
And the first thing that hits you is the smell. They are, understandably unbathed for the job that they have. But they are remarkably well equipped. It's pretty organized. It's starting to remind you of the Warders Legion. For the morning that you're with, the way they communicate, the way they send people out. They're not sending any of you out ahead, because A, you don't have horses. B, why would they do that with you? You guys have the illustrious job of dragging the corpses to the tree, which is 2 days away.
Awesome. Well, thank God we have Maximus. Our
Moving
Pac-Man.
on.
Surrounded by these people and orcs. The orcs are talking amongst themselves in a different language. Now, I would like to know what all the characters are thinking about the situation. How are you feeling? What's your internal dialogue saying?
Well, personally, like, we're flying by the seat of our pants. Like, so as we got off on the road and we're moving along, and I'm taking what they had said at face value. I believe that they are taking us back to discuss a new possible arrangement, or whether it's going to be favorable or not, I don't know. But I do believe that's so. I don't feel like we're in any immediate danger, like out in the open, because they could have just killed us there. That said, I'm trying to basically my brain is kind of flowing through to try to get an idea of like, okay, what the hell are we going to do if this doesn't go well? Because we jumped out of the pot into the fire, basically. So I'm trying to not look.
And it was a pot of oil, and other oils caught fire. Oh no, your foot was caught in the rim of the pot, and it stepped over onto you, into the fire.
Like the cane is in the boiling water, is in the fire, and the boiling water, and the cane, and the fire, and the burning, and the yeah.
That was an authentic Shatner.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm basically panicking in my head, trying to think about what the hell we're gonna do and what kind of agreement we're even gonna come up with when we get there. Even if things are on the level, what are we gonna agree to? Like, so I'm just trying to factor that in. That's hopefully I'm hiding it
Sure
well.
thing.
That's my my thought process currently.
I think that Maximus would be calm, actually. He's going to be looking at how Redver treats his subordinates, right? If they've been well fed, if they're well disciplined, well trained, right? If they're content with their lot in life, because basically looking at how they treat their subordinates and us, actually, tells us a lot of like what this Eclipse organization would be like. You know what I'm saying? I'm also taking a look around the environment to see if there are indeed any like predators or animals that we have to be worried about. If this does go south on us, perhaps we can use like anything like that, like animals or wildlife or whatever, to our advantage. And the third thing I'd be looking at is basically I'd be looking at Redver himself, and I'd be studying him and seeing like if there are any weaknesses.
Roll a perception for me.
Okay.
There would be stuff you can learn about him.
Perception. I only have a 4. I don't feel like using my style points, so I'll take the average of 4. Two successes.
2. Okay. Well, with 2 successes, you'll notice that when he's ordering the orcs around, there's a bit of resistance, and he has some disdain for them.
That was what Cages was looking for. I'm
And
looking to see
how about the
because
humans?
there weren't a lot of orcs. I remember they were like 4. Also?
There's 6 of them.
6 of them, yeah. It was like they were like a minority in the band, and seeing them talking among themselves in their language, which Cages doesn't understand. I'm trying to like suss out, is there like some sort of tension or friction between the orcs and the humans, or between the orcs and the non-orcs in this case.
Right.
Yeah.
Would I
So
and no is totally viable because I don't know I don't know the world in this sense, but with my linguistic skills, would I have had any reason to understand even the basic concepts of Orcish?
You could probably infer, not meaning but intent, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because you would have had a study of languages. So.
Yeah. Could like I have the linguistic skills, so how would I? So I just roll on that then?
Yeah, just roll on that.
So I'm trying to remember. It's been a while. So I have base of 5, level 1. So 5.
that's 6.
It is 6.
Your rating is 6. Yeah.
It's been a while since I've had to use one of these.
It's like living in Korea for a while. I by no means understand most of it, but
yeah, but you can kind of
more
pick
of a
up
feel for stuff.
Yeah, so I rolled a 4.
You rolled a 4.
Like basically what I'm trying to figure out is similar to what they were trying to figure out, but like, are they willing members of this, or are they kind of like, are they turnable essentially?
No, they it just seems like they're taking like the mickey out of them, like they're less disciplined than the humans.
How are they treated by the humans and Redver?
Minimally.
How are the human subordinates being treated by Redver?
Redver is just kind of like telling them to do stuff. It's a very
And they do it right away with no questions asked. They're very
yeah.
organized.
They
and...
just kind of do it because there's nothing else to do.
Okay.
There's a very
Right.
clear hierarchy.
It doesn't feel like a very strong chain of command.
Right.
Yeah, he's not like
Yeah,
very
like-
authoritative.
The
Yeah.
next thing that I'd
They
ask
don't
you
respect.
are weapons. What kind of weapons are they all carrying? Redver's got armor, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly, but I'm assuming
Like-
not everybody has it. Yes.
Not everyone's armored, no.
Everyone else is leather. I think Red
Yeah.
Ver's the only exception with metal.
And
Correct.
are their weapons actually metal? Like, do they
The
have
orcs
metal
have
swords and
swords.
stuff? Okay.
The orcs actually have metal swords. The other guys have spears with metal tips.
Hmm.
With metal tips, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
that
they've
makes
got like
sense.
short spears.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're pretty well armed.
Well, let's continue walking towards the tree as we do this, I guess. Are they actually waiting for us, or like they're dragging us along? Like, are we like being forced to run at a...
You're not running, but it's a quick walk.
Okay. I mean, so
Yeah.
they do have... It's not like we're
No, you're not being
prisoners that
dragged,
we've
you're not.
been like... Yeah, we're not...
No,
it's not
you-
like that. We're...
You're guests, but just not very nicely treated guests.
Right, okay.
They're not accommodating.
Well, for now, I guess we'll have to play along. I don't
Mhm.
think that there is anything we can do at this point anyway, so...
I don't think so.
Right. So for nightfall of the first night, what would you like to do camping wise? Do you want to set up by yourselves? Do you want to set up with them?
Are they giving us the option?
They're just kind of setting up with no regard for you.
Huh. Okay. I mean, I guess it is the desert. If we do run away, they can catch us pretty quickly, I guess. Okay.
I guess, yeah, like what is our intention in terms of like, let's say we had an opportunity to escape. To what end? What do we then do? Like, are we then
to be perfectly
they'll go
honest,
back and
if
Go
destroy
back
that
to tackle.
village.
Like we stuck it to them.
yeah, I mean, if they plan to, if they are actually true to their word and they're not planning on killing us or, you know, backstabbing us, if they are actually taking us to their leader and they're like, when we get there, all they expect is for us to actually join them and like not work our ass off, but work for our living, then actually that's not a bad deal, to be perfectly honest. Like,
Not really.
as long as they're not the like
Although it did
cannibal,
sound like it was more
sadistic,
slave labor, but still.
right? So and we were supposed to go there anyway and get information. So right now, the best way of getting information is to actually go there and see for ourselves. So
Yep.
right now, it's
Okay.
aligning with what we're supposed to be doing anyway.
Yep.
As for the camping situation, I don't see any reason why we have to go off by ourselves. If we camp near them, it might give them more trust about us too, right? We're not doing anything like, you know, that we're not sneaking around, we're not doing anything to like piss people off. We're just trying to lull them into a sense of security, I guess, is what it is.
Yeah.
Plus,
makes
if like animals do attack us like wild animals, it's better that we have lots of numbers anyway.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's true.
Cool.
Okay. So yeah, I guess we'll set up camp reasonably close to them.
Right.
Yeah, I guess it really doesn't matter where. I mean, whether we're in the middle of them or off to the side. I mean, if they were going to try to do something to us, it's not like we're going to get away at that point. So,
The only way
Yeah.
we could get rid of them and like run away is if we can get horses, pretty much.
Yeah. Honestly, I just figure that Maximus is going to go up to their tents at night and just.
I have thought about it. I just don't think I can kill all 26 of them. 22, 26? I don't know how many.
You're not even
26.
trying.
26 of
It
them.
does it.
You're not even
Actually,
trying.
I'm just interested how do they treat their horses? Like, do the horses stay with their camps, or are the horses, all the horses are put aside together?
The horses are staked with their tents.
All right. So every rider is responsible for their horse.
Yeah.
That's an interesting arrangement.
Everyone is like they're looking after themselves together.
Yeah, right.
Right. It's the power in numbers, but they're
But they're still
looking
rather
after
So like
individualistic.
people sorting out food, there's a fire, or there's a couple of fires, but everyone's cooking for themselves.
I think then we just kind of do the same. We just follow suit.
Okay.
We don't want to rock the boat, and we don't want to necessarily draw more attention to ourselves than we need to.
I think
During
Cages is
the-
going to be like very interested in seeing how these people organize themselves. Like
These people. Wow.
Like what forms a unit? Or are they one large unit and therefore everything has to be done together? Are they, a large units separated into smaller units that form the whole big picture? And what kind of relationship they have in terms of how the chain of what does the chain of command look like, for one thing, and how do they take and respect orders? So it's more like an observation. It's like human watching, people watching.
Yeah, people watching.
Yeah.
So with your people watching, the cliques do become apparent. Apart from the orcs, there are like cliques of people. Redver is part of one. He's not like in a strange leader type like the Warders were. As for the general organization, it's kind of like how you guys have been going, where some people were more outdoorsy, some people in the part like before the Night of Fire, some people were just like tough guys that hung out in bars, got into fights. They seem like really stereotypical characters that Cages has dealt with before.
Has anybody like approached us during the ride here, or like tried to start up any kind of dialogue or conversation this whole day?
During the ride, no.
Okay.
You were lagging behind with the buddies.
Right. We have another day before we can reach the tree, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cages, you want to try walking around and maybe chumming it up? Technically, we're guests,
really have
is
anything
what.
to offer.
No, not offer. I like information gathering is how you should think of it.
Yeah, sure. But when you're dealing with people who have their cliques, you just don't barge into cliques.
Yeah.
Wait a second. What? Have you never been to prison? You just go in and take out the biggest guy first.
Did I bring Maximus for this?
This is all you, man. You got this.
You have Maximus behind you. It's like, hey, buddy, you got a problem with him?
If you got a problem with him, you got a problem with Kane.
If the easiest way to jump up is through a fight. Men respect through your fist.
That's a good icebreaker.
So we could start a gladiatorial fight right here, and I could run a betting ring.
Oh yeah.
So here's what you do. You just I feel like we did this in another campaign. We just basically while they're sleeping, we do something to the orcs and make them think that the other guys did it, and then race war.
A race war.
You didn't see that coming, did you, William? You probably did.
I didn't expect the phrase race war, but I did
All right,
entertain the idea.
We've got the episode title. Perfect.
Do we want to go that far?
And
No.
while you're
I mean,
planning your
after-
degeneracy, around one of the fires, some guys are gonna sing.
Oh,
It's an old song that Maximus knows.
nice.
Please do
Does it have-
sing for us.
Is it about
No.
death and fire?
No.
No, it's akin to Drunken Sailor.
Oh, it's a singing song.
Yeah.
Right.
As opposed to those talking songs, I believe they're called rap.
Oh, I meant drinking songs. I don't know what.
Oh,
Yeah, a drunk dude would be a pretty good rapper. Like my uncle, I don't know what the fuck he's saying on the phone when he's drunk.
brap, brap.
Yeah,
Gotta
and-
stick up.
Sounds like it. Especially when he's speaking
Well-
Afrikaans, in my second language. So it's like a what will we do with the drunken woodsman in that kind of spirit.
Right. Does it bring up old memories for Maximus?
It should.
It might,
Maybe with
but I don't
maybe
think
with
Maximus would
White
be a
beside.
singer, so
But
he
now,
knows the
now
song.
Maximus
But
is going to. Now the subtitles for this episode will be Maximus broods sadly.
Hmm.
Bow, bow, bow.
I'm gonna listen to the song, obviously, and then what do they look like? The people who are singing it.
Yeah, which click? in
Are they
particular?
like? Do they seem familiar in any sort of way? Like, like, certain regions have,
Mhm, mhm.
like different accents or
Yeah.
dialogue, or you know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm,
does it look like
The way they
they
dress.
might have lived near
You
where
know-
I lived before the Night of Fire?
Now that you're focusing on it, roll a perception.
Ugh,
See if you can
I
tell.
hate these checks. God damn it. I
Just
have a
take two.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just take 2.
Okay. There
You're-
is.
Are you sending me a message? Is that what you're doing?
I was debating sending you a message or not, but now I should. Now that
Okay.
you mentioned it, what I was gonna say is way cooler if you do the exposition.
Okay.
As the pros call it, an expose.
An expose.
An expose.
Mm-hmm.
Not to
Okay.
be confused with an expose. Never mind.
Oh god. Now tell me, is all graffiti gonzo or is all gonzo graffiti?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
No idea.
Yes.
Hmm?
Yes. We'll go with yes.
Yes. Just like
Can't go wrong
googling,
with yes.
just
to
on the
what?
side googling like what is gonzo?
Oh no, I'm familiar with the term. He
Okay.
was a great Muppet.
So, I guess if that is true, I will suddenly get up
Mhm.
and start
Yeah, you will.
walking towards them. I guess they have their own campfire going, right?
Mhm, mhm.
So I'll start walking towards them. Do I remember maybe a name?
You do.
And the name. Oh, another message.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll get closer and then I'll ask, is that you, Dane? Is it
And
possible?
so the man that Lawrence, it's not Lawrence, Maximus walks up to, he's going to look like he literally saw a ghost and got slapped across the face by that ghost. The ghost was using its dick to slap him across the face. You can imagine the expression that he's got
So
on
in
his
other words, he
Too
sees
much
Maximus.
information right there. But anyway,
face.
In other words, he sees and recognizes Maximus. Okay.
He's not recognizing Maximus right now.
Oh, okay. I thought
But
that was he recognized the dick slap.
I'd know that wang anywhere.
Uh,
Maximus, is that you turning left?
You can. Oh, you can insert round 2.
no, not this one.
It's like you turning left. Oh man.
So he's going to ask you how you know that name.
Are you not Dane? Were you not from... I don't have a region of Viscondia in my backstory, so I'm just going to make something up.
Sure.
Are you not from... I don't know.
Blarg?
No, Greenwood. Let's go with Greenwood
Sure.
of
We'll go with
Viscondia.
Greenwood. And he's going to say, yes, I was. I stayed in Greenwood for a few years. Come, sit down.
My name is Maximus. We knew each other.
Maximus.
We knew each other before the Night of Fire. Do you not remember me? Actually, do we, out of character, do I remember this guy? Like, what do I remember of this guy, then?
What you remember of this guy is...
One magical evening.
He was a regular at the local drinking establishment. Like, you and your wife, him and his wife, you were, like, couple friends.
Oh, okay. So,
Like, at the bar.
Oh, it's couple
Okay.
of drinking friends.
Yeah, a couple of drinking friends.
so I will sit down and I'll say, you don't remember the Cock and the Hen? I'll just name the bar as well.
Yeah, sure. That's the name of the bar. Sure.
Yes.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That's not at all the name of the role playing.
That's
Yes.
not what I call myself and my wife.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's freaking it's contagious is what it is. Eventually all of us. Eventually Casey is gonna
no.
start doing it. Anyway.
If it's contagious, you know you should get that checked, right? 'Cause
Anyway, so
awkward. Awkward.
I'll
So-
say basically
Mhm.
my name is Maximus. We used to drink with you at the Cock and the Hen.
And it's gonna come back to me. He's gonna like, yes. You were the hunter.
I was, indeed.
How are you here? How are you alive?
Well, after the Night of Fire, I woke up, or I ran to my home, and there was nobody there. I've been wandering since to find my family. How are you
Really?
alive?
I'm alive because I ran. I just ran and I didn't look back.
And
he's
your
going to look
wife?
sad. And he'll say, well, she just turned to ash when the world started pulling itself apart.
So Maximus can empathize with that, and he'll say, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, they had like a Sodom and Gomorrah moment. Like 1 minute he was running, next minute he had a handful of salt.
Awkward silence for about a few
Now
minutes.
very depressed awkward silence. Very PTSD ridden.
What about other members of our village? What about the other people from Greenwood? Were they perhaps with you? Have you met any others from our village? Have you seen perhaps my wife and daughter?
He
My
shakes
wife.
my wife. He shakes his head. He's rather saying, he says, no, I went back and no one was there. Probably the same as you. Everyone was either dead or gone, or who knows what happened to them.
So at this, Maximus will run his hands through his hair, basically. Clearly shaken. Not that way, Dave.
What?
He's
I don't know what you're talking about.
he's remembering stun. He's just like,
Stun. Exactly. He's back. Yeah.
And I'll ask, after a while, how did you hook up with these guys, the Eclipse?
well, I was going to ask you the same thing. How did you go from providing meat to murdering wannabe politicians and mayors.
Well, in this world, you have to do whatever you can to survive. They were actually, if you're talking about Callum, and I'll indicate over to the dead body that we've been dragging, he was clearly insane. He was going to ambush you guys. We actually stopped a massacre. So technically, instead of what, 100 people dying, there was only 3.
And he's going to put his arm around you and pull you in close and say, "Well, Maximus, then I owe you a debt. But tell me," and he's going to point to Cain. He's going to say this very quietly. "Is he a sorcerer?"
I'm not sure. I have seen crazy things in my journeys. He claims to be a sorcerer, but who knows?
So the Scarlet King thing is real, if he's not a sorcerer.
I myself am holding my judgment, but he has claimed that he is the Scarlet King, and for now, that seems to sway people's minds and opinions, so and has kept us safe. So why not?
He's going to nod his head and pull himself away. And in a rather not subtle change of topic, call Cain and Cages over. So you come sit, you can't stand around all day.
I'll indicate to them that
and
it's
I will.
okay. You might as well join the
Yeah.
conversation. How many people are around this particular campfire that we're at right now? It's not
4
just me and Dane, right? Okay.
Yeah, 4 people excluding you 3.
You guys are coming over, or no?
Yeah, no reason not to.
Yeah.
The cool kids just invited me over. Of course I'm coming. Right?
Cain's that guy that stands like next to the bookshelf in the corner of the living room at a house party.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, kind of like me, standing there quietly, like they don't know how cool my SoundCloud is.
If only they knew.
He just helped himself with some food that he's
Hell
probably
yeah.
not supposed that he's probably not supposed to touch, but he helps himself anyway.
I'll introduce these guys. So this is Cages. I've been actually traveling with him for quite a while now. Before we met Cain, the Scarlet King.
Cages, where did you hail from before the maps became unreliable?
I came from the cities. It was a very good city until it was flattened to ash. But I don't think we don't have much of those anymore these days. The ones that we passed through are minor towns at best.
It is rather boresome going through all these towns, but you'll see the Eclipse. I've seen things, but they're going to do the right thing in the end. All of your perception.
Okay.
Perception. Right.
I love when you say that.
Can I add on empathy to that, say to guess what he means by the right thing?
Oh yeah.
All right. I'll roll perception first.
4. I got a 4.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
1.
mm-hmm.
Gosh. 3 dice. Cages gets 4?
Yep.
4, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll roll my empathy. I'll take average of 3+, so I'll just roll 1 dice.
Mm-hmm.
And
Hey.
That's a 2. So that's 4 successes on my empathy and perception.
Right. So for all of you, it's obvious that he, has like talked himself into believing this. But what Cages is picking up is that dead-eyed look he's got. There's a lot of other people dotted around the camp that have the same kind of look. What Maximus
Maximus
going to
sees nothing. I got
Maximus is going to notice something very small.
one. Okay.
Is that the other
looked
dudes?
down?
When
Oh.
that's awful.
Sudden axe to the face. Oh, Kane's dead.
Oh, I turned left again. Oh man.
Don't make me turn right, little boy.
I'm sorry. I can't help myself. Go ahead.
So
Sorry.
when Cages and Kane sat down, the other guys like scooted away from them. It's a small thing, but it's just
They
the dynamic as it stands.
scooted away because there's no space, or they scooted away because they scooted away?
Because you're foreign people.
You have a smell to you.
Mm-hmm. You smell
Somehow
too
they can
clean.
smell it
No,
over
we-
everything else.
We don't have the same smell as them, you know.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Bodies would probably
And
do that.
Kane is going to very perceptively notice that people over yonder like there was a guy pointing at him.
These are very strange people.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna
Take him as
ask
what you
him.
will.
Sorry. Oh, Dane. Is this for real? Are they actually taking us to a place where we can honestly work for a living? And or like are you just looking for more slaves for your colony?
Well, he Dane doesn't know the specifics of how it's all running. But what happens is they pick up these tributes as people who are essentially transplanted, unwilling colonists.
But they are colonists. They're
right.
not
They literally
prisoners or slaves.
no, they uproot they take them prisoner, kind of like Rimwald actually. they uproot them. They say, "You live here now. You're part of our community now. Deal with
Okay.
it." If you are
It's a
in
power
the
in
line of
numbers thing.
work, yeah, and if you are in the line of work of like what all of you're in, then you can go on the scouting missions, the tributary missions. You can do all of this militaristic stuff. But he says you'll go from feeling bad to very quickly being able to use a corpse as a pillow while it's still warm to sleep at night.
And we're there at this point?
Yeah. You've been there the entire time while
That's
I've
what I
been
thought.
having
I
this
just wanted to
Yeah,
say
conversation.
so.
Yeah, you guys are listening to all of this.
So I want to just ask. I'm going to speak up, and I'm just going to say, I'm like, so, like, what is the ultimate goal of the Eclipse? We keep hearing about, they're going to succeed. What in what? What
See
is
that
his
what?
final
Yeah.
goal?
Well, they don't just take people. They pick up anything and everything
Right.
and redistribute it. They're building a city. They're
Okay.
trying to build a great city. And we were lucky enough to be born hundreds and thousands of years after people had already done this to build the original empires.
So they're trying to build and run their own empire, not just a city, ultimately.
Ultimately, yes, they want to rival the powers from before the Night of Fire. They want to be the first.
Yeah, so I mean, someone's going to. They want to basically be that reincarnation of civilization because then they can control it.
And he's going to clandestinely, weird word, point over towards where the orcs have pitched their tents. Says we're even working with those. They're unpredictable.
Yeah. Actually, tell me about those guys. Like, how did you what's keeping you from them or you stabbing them in the dark in a night like this?
Us, there's more of us. In general, I think they like the violence. Who knows what those creatures enjoy? I've seen them do things.
sacrificially things or
Horrifying
ritualistically things.
things.
Right. And
He's like glazing over again.
and they're what, given this free reign to do whatever they want.
Essentially, when it takes their fancy, we
Here's
don't
a-
help them.
Here's a question for you, Dane. You're going around villages and taking people and transplanting them into your city, into your newly made metropolis, yes? Eventually, a town like Dughole will cease to exist. You'll have, like, the tributes won't stop. You'll keep taking them, and then that town will not be anymore. Why not just make Dughole like a property of the Eclipse, not take the people, help it grow, but they can provide you with, I don't know, food, resources that can help your city grow. Not
Be
exactly
mutually beneficial.
not sure what you plan on doing when Dughole has no more people left.
Well, that's why Red was taking you, is you're in charge now, and we're going to cut the deal with you. That's the deal that Callum cut.
Right. Okay.
Right, but if the goal ultimately is for the same sort of decision, in that it's a tribute, 10 people, like, I don't understand where the logic of that was either, because 10 people after a few tributes, there'd be no one left. Like, what's the unless it's just a matter of
couple of years.
yeah, unless it's just a matter of them bringing everyone into the fold, but they're doing it at a gradual pace. That's the
But
only
it doesn't
thing.
make sense, because if you actually went to Dughole and you said, look, we have a city a few days out. We can provide you with shelter, protection, a place to live. You can all
Food,
go together.
we can farm maybe.
Right, exactly. Food, like we have like basically infrastructure already set up.
Yeah.
And you don't have to live in this dust bowl. There are actually a lot of people who would go willingly instead of being forced to, right? They'd see it as a chance to, maybe a better chance to, like, survive. If you can, like, those are very, very convincing things in this time and age where you do have shelter, you do have food, you do have infrastructure. I don't see why they don't do it this way.
Well, you know what? I think you've just outlined our argument. Once we get there,
He's Dane's just gonna throw up his hands and make non-committal noises. It's like, I don't know. I'm not involved. That's why you guys are
Not
here
the right
now.
guy to ask.
But I actually think that's
probably someone
Obviously,
else.
Maximus, you've made better decisions in life, and you've taken the high road, and that's good. But this is just the order of it.
Right.
That's what I know.
You know. But
I
actually,
think that argument makes a lot of sense. I genuinely think this could be our approach. Like, I legitimately listen. What do you guys need? And let us now ruling this town. Let us implement what you need, and your tributes, instead of whittling down the population, which is basically you're going to be working through a what's the word I'm looking for, a resource, a limited resource, whereas instead you want to run. This is just, I'm going to be talking to you guys, like, he doesn't care about this.
No, we should be talking about this probably when we're back in our camp, right?
Well, sorry,
that's
we
what
would,
because like,
right,
because
we would
he's just
simply
like,
drink.
You're accusing
right.
Dane of a
After
lot of things,
after Dane puts up his hands, like, the next thing we do is probably just
like to talk to
drink
Dane.
and
yeah,
talk about,
but
like, change the subject and talk about other stuff. But when we get
basically,
back,
like, once we get to the discussion, like, this makes
sure.
If they want to
fast forward, you guys are now under your top.
Right.
Can I ask Dane a few questions first?
Sorry, go ahead, Cage. Sorry, I jumped the gun.
Yeah. Actually, I was just interested. I mean, since he's been talking about taking orders, how has the Eclipse been treating him? Like what's life before he joined the Eclipse, and what's life after?
What's life gotta be like? Gotta be like here.
Before
What's been the benefits?
right, so his story is during the night of fire, he ran, presumably in a different direction to Maximus, and he found a place that was still standing, and he had general handy skills to help out. So he made a home there, and then everything got frozen, and he decided to pack up what he had and move on to find somewhere that wasn't frozen. Survived off the land for a bit, and then came upon another place that was along the coast, and they had managed to ice fish for sustenance. So he was hanging out with them for a little bit, and then everything defrosted, and he was settling down. He was like he was just like happy to live there now. And then the eclipse came for them at first. So it was like in the early days. It was pretty much as soon as the first growing season finished was when like the eclipse started. It was just like this big clump of people that came over, did a hostile takeover, and then took able-bodied people with them. And then it started to like split up, and they had like different places under control, and they had their central location. As for his life now post Eclipse, it's filled with a lot of killing. It's filled with long, boring days traveling through the wilderness. It's filled with exciting death traps that the New World is full of. And he's gonna ask you if you've ever experienced the acid rain.
Oh yeah, we have.
Boiling acid rain, yeah.
Boiling rain, acid rain.
Yep.
Have you had an entire cloud fall on you at once?
I think we had while we were in camp.
We were
Good,
able to
good.
survive.
Yeah.
So he has to deal with the world, essentially. And he has to deal with those orcs. And in exchange, he gets clothes, food, and water.
Hmm.
But it was
That's actually
It
a lot
was-
more than some people are getting these days still. But
in the beginning, with the eclipse, it was join or die.
okay.
That was during his days.
Yeah, that was during his days. Now, 2 years
Right.
later, they've
Oh,
been
only been 2 years.
consistently active, and it's now less so that.
Right.
Hence why Duggle wasn't just like taken away or permanently made an eclipse
Okay.
territory.
Well, in that sense, the eclipse is actually softened
Right.
comparatively.
It sounds like they might actually be. So
They might
you know
be doing what you want them to do.
Yeah. I'll wait till we get to discussion.
Yeah.
time.
So essentially he's almost like working for an organized military now.
Yeah.
That isn't really as organized as a military.
Right.
Cool. Can we get a grasp of how the size of this city or this organization has grown in the 2 years it's been in here? Like, was it always a band of people of 26 riders always roaming about, or it was like a smaller thing and they decided to grow these bands into sizes, or did they decide to like have more bands in smaller sizes?
Right. So initially it was like almost like like the Mongols, where the leader's a man named Dozum. And he was like he ran ahead with everything at first. And then he started to just dish out orders more and like send out smaller groups of people to do things.
Okay. So you've met their Zoom.
Not met him personally. Seen him many times, but they've never like talked.
Okay. What's the current leader? Reggie Rayner?
Oh, this guy Redver.
Yeah, is Redver like a
Reggie.
like a like a relative or somebody from his circle to Dezu?
Redver does come from one of the original with Dozum.
Okay, I guess that's interesting to know.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I think that's enough surface
yeah,
information we
that's a
can
lot of
gather.
information.
Yeah, that's it. I could ask a few more, but I think we are getting more interested in something else rather than what Dane can provide.
Yeah.
So we can go to
So
a discussion in the tent.
yeah. So
Yeah, let's
basically, we
go
continue
to.
drinking, and then eventually we go
Yeah, I mean,
back to our
I
tent.
try to carols with these guys. Like if they have alcohol, I'd be more than happy to take my share and more.
There's some guys that have been fermenting fruit in there and like
Yeah,
an extra wineskin.
they could be right for all I care.
Oh
Yeah.
it's basically
so yeah,
vinegar.
if we're in there now, all I'm gonna say is like this seems like it could be a perfect situation for us. It seems like they are transitioning from just acquiring people for the sake of just power and numbers, and it seems if these people are correct in that they are trying to actually form a new government, if you will, even if it is a communist one. We don't know their ultimate plans, but I mean, like, if we go to them and say, listen, this is we're more valuable if you allow us to implement some infrastructure here. Like, you will get, we can supply you with, I don't even know what that city is capable of because we're new there, but I mean, if there's any sort of farmland, we can supply them with food. Like, you're going to need satellite areas in order to feed not just the main city, but the civilization as a whole.
Probably, yeah, as a whole.
And having coverage, these satellite areas also work as outposts. They work as restocking when you're going to other places. They work like, there's so much value in that I think we can. I think we can really heavily lean on this. Like,
and Doug Hole must have something of worth there. I mean, because you don't create a settlement.
Resources.
Yeah, besides human resources, you don't create a settlement in like the middle of the desert for no, like, there's got to be something there that made them stop.
Yeah, generally settlements are, they have a reason for being somewhere.
Right. I'm not exactly sure what it is.
It's quite surprising. We've been there so many times and we haven't figured it out.
Yeah.
Why are they staying here?
This is a shithole, and they've got a
Why
trench
are you here?
filled with shit.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, for all we know, I mean, now that we're in the current position that we are in Darko, we could just say we come back to Darko and say this is a shitty place. We should all go to the city.
Going back to Praha, I'm like, guys, I have the perfect place for you.
Yeah, I suspect the reason why they're doing this whole like transplanting of people thing is probably, I suspect they actually don't have the infrastructure they believe they have, or it's maybe not, or it's not enough to sustain their population, or maybe they just have a population problem.
Well,
like they don't have enough people.
Like, or they're not efficient because they're bringing people in as slaves to do manual labor. It's like, well, if you implement better infrastructure or you have things coming in, you don't need as much slave labor doing everything yourself in this one area, unless there's something special about this city we're going to that it has super fertile lands, or it has something that this is the efficient place to do it. Well, normal water that doesn't burn your esophagus.
Water.
But I mean, at the same time, it's like there's better way. It's easy enough to do it if you have these resources. People will come and work for you for survival. Like, you don't need to bully them into doing it. Why is my camera keep going out of focus? I just think, I mean, we have to see where they go and kind of what we can get from them. But it seems to me like these guys should be easy, relatively.
They sound pretty reasonable in the sense they're not really bloodthirsty.
Yeah, it sounds like there's
going around.
It sounds like there's logical reasons for things. Hey, why are my dogs growling at me? It sounds like they have reasonable, maybe chaotic,
civilized,
neutral
rational
at best, in terms of like the way they go about things, but it doesn't seem like it's an evil plot.
Yet. We'll have to actually go there and take a look at it for ourselves.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is
Like
true.
this is what Dane is saying, and he's been with them for 2 years. He could be trained.
I mean, they still
say
had
this.
to. They weren't really shy about resorting to violence at
Right.
first.
No, and that's why I think they were more chaotic.
Probably
I just
wouldn't
don't think
be shy about it as a last resort as well.
No, I think they do it out of survival. Like
Yeah.
they go to that quickly just because they know it works. I don't
Yeah.
think it's necessarily done due to evil reasons. We'll see though.
Again, yeah, we'll have to go there and see. Basically,
Yeah.
there's nothing else
I
for
mean,
it.
sounds like we can have a plan now moving forward. and
I
see the
mean,
angle.
the other thing is this tree is what worries me. The first thing that they decided to do when people ran away from their eclipse, their city or whatever,
Was
is
killed.
hang people
Or
on a
hang.
tree and
Yeah.
torture them until they die, basically. That is not the signs of an enlightened society, basically.
No.
Yes. It's the sign of like a brutal freaking
They're trying to rule by fear.
Right. I understand that, but they're also being dumb about it. If you
Agreed.
think like they kill these people, that's a loss of, if you want slaves, manpower.
Manpower and skills.
There are ways,
and
there are
knowledge.
other ways.
Person power.
Sure, person power. There are other ways to like make there are other ways to make a point and to save face or to inspire fear without killing them.
100% there is.
Let's introduce a law and justice system.
Well, I'm just gonna. That's the thing. We can bring some of this and be like, instead of this, make it a little bit more appealing. People will come to you, and that'll save resources on you having to send these people out to recruit, which means they can do work in the city. Like it's
when the basic needs of a society are met, philosophy can flourish. Technology guides the way.
Computers.
My only, I mean, we've said this much, but I still have a question: is how does that affect our relationship with the library? I mean, if this guy turns out to be a really cool guy, do we switch allegiances?
Change our cloak color again?
At this point, what are our personal goals? My personal goal is to survive as long as possible until I meet my wife and daughter again.
I mean, if
the other personal goal is to actually discover and rebuild society. So, if the Eclipse are actually
this guy sounds like he's doing that,
right?
But,
if the Eclipse are actually doing this for real and doing it the right way, then I think Maximus would be all for joining the Eclipse. Library of Balestria be damned. Basically, they should like. What did they do for us? Like honestly, they literally sent us out to die without enough food or water. That's what they did. Each time we met them. What do they offer in return? Okay, here's some knowledge. Go. Basically.
Here's some knowledge. You know what? I got some knowledge. Don't trust you.
And for your troubles, go kill this guy that like went off the handle. Go kill Callum Grom, who we can't control.
You want the
knowledge?
Who wants the knowledge?
Basically.
How do I build a furnace?
I mean, they're a very valuable resource because they do know how to put everything, well, not everything back, but they have the knowledge of how to build the tools that we need. Not all of them, but some tools that we need to put back society in its place. That's what they have. However, are they able to run a government? Are they able to put society back together themselves? That's why they made up the idea of the Scarlet King, right? And the fact that they couldn't even control one of their own members when he went off the rails is a message in itself. I don't think they actually have a lot of control in the area anyway, right? So
it doesn't sound like they have their only control that they have is the only control they really have is based purely on fear.
I think
the library.
Sorry, not the library. I'm sorry. I was talking about the Eclipse. But yes, yeah,
the library has no control.
No, you're right. But the library, they don't have
any kind of reach.
They don't have any reach. They don't have any kind of military to back them up, right?
No. They rely solely on
Religion
look,
and
they're
duplicity.
clandestine.
Yeah.
They basically are a distraction. They make people think they're looking for a building, like while they collect. They have their solo focus, which is information gathering, or rather information hoarding,
So
which they probably want to use because information can make you powerful.
the interesting thought is, what if we bring them two together? What if we bring the library
That's actually a
with the
concern.
Eclipse and put
Like-
them together?
Yeah.
Do we want to see these two powers merge? Or do we want to see the Eclipse take over? Or do we want to help the library topple the Eclipse?
Can the
And
when we go there, we should ask ourselves the question: can the Eclipse actually be toppled? We should look at the size of the city itself, how many troops it has,
I mean, there are
level of
ways
society
to
they're
topple the
at.
Eclipse without toppling the city.
Do we? That's true. I just think
we did just take.
we can't really answer any of these questions until we actually get there. Is the thing.
Well, we just took over an entire city in like 5 minutes. I think we can take over the Eclipse, no problem, guys. I think we got this. No? All right.
Okay.
All right.
No,
Well,
I have full faith in you.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
I'm not asking you.
Yeah. I mean, if I need someone's headshot, I know who to call.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man.
Although
favorite
that's
phrase
the
comes to
problem
mind.
with dictators, right?
Try.
I mean,
Yeah, because
there's one guy in power. You
even if
take
the
out that
Eclipse
one
sounds like
guy.
even if the Eclipse sounds like it's doing good, we don't know how. Like, do we want to allow that kind of good to go on?
It might be better
unimpeded?
than any
It
there
could
are
be.
people
Well, they
who
certainly
are
believe
worse
that
off.
they certainly believe it's the better of the options. Yeah.
Right.
That's the thing. I think if we can provide them, from what it seems like, is that it seems like they have a logical reasoning for going towards this stuff. So if we can provide them with a reasonable alternative, they may be open to it.
And that's what I mean by having the library and the Eclipse join. Dave
Yeah.
has literally started a new. He could become a figurehead, and there are people
Yeah.
following this religion. Yes, so you
Damn
could
straight.
now maybe convince people to join the Eclipse voluntarily if Dave,
Doesn't
if
fuck it up,
people,
yeah.
if Dave doesn't fuck it up and people believe he's the actual Scarlet King, then it's a possibility. Either way, eventually conversation stops and we go to sleep, and let's see what happens the next day, I guess.
We still have to hang up some bodies. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Hold on,
do.
guys. Gotta get the bodies up there.
I hope you've been kicking Grum's corpse every time you walk past
Oh, that I have been.
it.
You know he has, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
In fact, he
I
woke up in the
need-
middle of the night, walked over to him, kicked him, and then went back to sleep with a
Went back
smile
to
on his face.
Speaking of sleepwalking, I want to see
Yeah.
if somebody wakes up and notices.
What do you want us to roll?
Perception?
I don't know what it would be. I've been debating.
Let's see what the character sheet says.
I don't know what your character
Roll
sheets have
to
on there
wake
to do
up.
it. Roll.
Perception. It has to be perception, right?
I suppose it would be perception, like how lightly you're
alert
sleeping.
you are.
Right.
Yeah.
It could be body in terms of how deep your sleep was.
I don't know. It's up to you.
Yeah,
Oh,
let's
do we
do-
want to take watches?
Oh no, foiled.
We can't trust these people. They'll step out in the sleep.
I mean, to be honest, I don't see why we wouldn't be doing watches of some sort anyway. Like,
Mhm.
yes, we trust them, but at the same time, you can't
Define
trust anyone
watch,
fully.
inside or outside the tent.
Yeah, fair enough.
Mm.
I mean, the way I was envisioning
It wouldn't be
was
too weird
basically
if one of us was outside the tent at
It
all
wouldn't be
times.
very weird.
Yeah.
No, like I figure
Because
we
I
would
think
be.
they will post watches
Yeah, they've got
as
people.
like as a camp.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think we would be out. Like I think we would, whoever would be on watch would be like outside, but not so much focused outside the camp, more just in the
Yeah.
general area because they're
Just our
the
tent.
camp itself. Yeah, so like if wild animals were approaching, we may not notice as much as we would normally.
Yeah, okay.
Whereas
We
I
are,
think,
we are more afraid of internal threats rather than outside ones.
yeah, I think just out of a nature of like in living in this world, I think when you can watch your back while you're sleeping, you do. I think
Right.
that's my intent. That's how I, think about it. But
So who's going to take the second watch?
Tends to be me, I think.
Who usually
Tends to be,
takes
yeah.
it?
I think
Is it
I
you?
usually take the second watch, yeah.
Then I don't
Normally,
see.
yeah, normally Kane takes the last one.
Cages takes Maximus takes the first one.
Okay,
Right.
so go ahead.
So it's going to
Cages.
be in the rotation. I need Cages to roll the perception then.
Well, yeah, I'll just roll for this. It's a pretty good score, but I'll just roll. Wow,
Nice.
that's
4.
4.
4. Okay, so when Cages sticks his head out the top and finds the stump to sit down on, you're going to see in the distance, in like the dark distance that you can see in, 2 orcs that were kind of like checking your guys' direction out, like kind of slink away when you come out.
So they're either trying to rob us or
They were
get us to
literally
help
checking
them.
at that.
or they just don't trust us. Yeah,
Yeah.
which would be fair. I wouldn't trust orcs if they joined the party, but
And actually, I'm not quite sure what's the reception of orcs in Desolation. Like, I'm not going by the assumption they are Tolkien orcs.
No, they're
But
not.
what's but
Tolkien orcs.
what's the kind of like cultural perception on orcs?
They're like, the way they've written them, as I understand it for the setting, is like they are kind of like Tolkien orcs in that they're like big, brutey Oriskans, which I just
Right,
interpret in my
but
brain as Russians. So it's like they're belligerent and vicious, but they don't seem like uncivilized because they're
Yeah.
superstitious and they've got chieftains.
Right.
So I don't think it's a stretch that they could be part of something bigger. They're just like from a vastly different culture.
Weren't they also
I'll be right
like
back, guys. Keep going.
raiding
I'll
and
be right back.
attacking the Ascandian Empire before the Night of Fire?
They were, yeah.
So naturally, we'd be enemies. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From a raider, like they're just a raiding race.
Yeah, because like they were one of the raiding races from up north, which has like
Right.
kobolds and goblins and
Right.
all the like typical fantasy stuff.
Right.
Okay.
But there are, I'm pretty sure in like the before time preface, there was like mixed cities with like mixed populations of the different
Okay.
races.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Right. Okay. So it's not unusual to see them among humans.
Right, it's definitely weird because they
there's
were like always in the north.
right.
So like for you guys, it would be pretty weird or like alarming almost.
Mm,
But
okay.
so like the tension would be understandable.
Oh, okay. Seeing them slink away, I think what Cages would actually do is try to sneak up on them, like tailing them, and obviously trying to be doing it stealthily, but he's pretty bad at it. So, but he's just gonna try it anyways.
Sure.
So you want me to roll anything for that?
No, you won't have to roll anything for that. Yeah, it would. Yeah, there's like enough people around that this isn't weird for you to just like take a walk.
Right.
Like people are gonna watch you, but no one's going to think anything of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And it sort of almost seems like they're just going back and going to go to sleep. There's nothing really remarkable that happens.
Are they all asleep? Like it's lights out for their tent, or
They have two dudes
Who are
outside?
watching? You're right.
who are watching. Yeah,
Right.
they're gonna look
Not the
curious.
same two dudes. Not the same two dudes who ran off.
No. The two that are outside watching, they're gonna be looking curiously over, but they're not going to worry too much.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't be able to tell if they were armed, right, when they ran off.
Yeah, it would be too dark for that.
Okay. Well, yeah, if that's the case, I think Cage is just gonna let that go. Goes back to his watch post. But definitely will be keeping an eye on the orcs if somehow they decide to revisit.
Yeah. Sounds
I'll
good
bring
to me.
I'll bring that up. I mean, I'll bring this up to everyone, like even the next guy on watch, I believe it's K. I'll just bring him up like, yeah, that's what I saw, and just pay a bit more attention, and I'll bring it up to Maximus the next day.
Right. Yeah, nothing else of note's gonna happen for the rest of the night.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Orcs
Mhm.
came by for some reason. I hope it's for friendlier reasons. I don't know what they're looking for, or are we looking for something, or do we look something from them? What do you think, Maximus?
I'm not sure.
I like to talk to these guys. Actually, I like to talk to the orcs. It's just that if I can talk to them, in
Right.
their language.
Like, do you know
I don't speak
Orcish?
orc. I
Right.
don't speak orc. Yeah, so
So that's the problem.
I don't think Kane does. Maybe if we can, break the ice with something that we can both understand, maybe that could help. But I can't think of anything that can do that.
Kane, you don't
That's-
speak Orcish, do you? By any chance?
No,
I'm
I
So
don't.
no.
Thanks for
I'm
asking.
fine. Pig nose sausage breath. What? I was asking where the washroom was. What?
So I
Sorry, what
mean,
did I miss?
at
We're
this
trying to
point,
determine how to discuss with them, how to talk to them.
right? Because
We
they
are
were
I'm thinking of that, but I don't know
they were
how.
eyeing our tent. They were like
Would I
watching
know?
us.
Would I know with whether? I guess probably with linguistics. Any sort of universal, like a sign language or anything like that, known that's used. Well, between that and I also have warfare. Like I know, for example, like SWAT teams, they have hand signals and stuff like that. I don't know if there's any sort of, obviously not complex conversations, but is there any sort of
We come in peace and gesture.
and there may not be. I'm just trying to think if there's any sort of, because in a world like this where there's so many, I mean, you could say this in real life, there's so many different languages, but in a world where there's different races, I don't know if there would be kind of this universal kind of almost like a shortened or abbreviated language for cross species communication. I don't know if that's a thing.
It's called English.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's called a lingua franca. Look it up.
Yeah. Common. That's why they call it common.
That's why it's called common. It's the lingua franca. Everyone knows it.
Yeah. That's fair. That's
they
totally
could
fair.
speak it.
Question.
I mean,
Funny you bring it up.
They might speak common, but
yeah.
badly.
Funny you bring it
Why
up.
do I bring it up?
No, because when Redva was ordering them around yesterday, he was speaking like a butchered version of Escondian
Oh, okay.
that they responded to. It's just unfortunately in and around Escondia, the orcs when all the northern races were enemies.
Yeah.
So, kind of like how conquering colonial powers never really cared too much to write down the culture of the places they conquered.
Of course. That's not really their primary objective.
No. Just England going around putting a flag in countries going, this is now England.
Pillaging and respecting the culture.
Yeah.
No, it's not really a combination.
Now,
I
please
believe
tell
so.
me,
well-
what holiday do you have in the coming weeks? While we
Yeah.
shank their children behind them.
Yeah, I know, right? Okay, well, guess what? The silver
How do you
lining.
pronounce that? Iktuba?
Yeah. Silver lining, you no longer have to spend money on your kids. Would any of us know this how to speak Ascandian? At least a broken
We're all
version of it.
Ascandian.
You're all
I know we're
Ascandians.
Ascandian, but I don't know if it's like
Yeah.
a a
Bad
Latin, for
Ascandian.
example, where we're all derived from
Right,
Latin, but I
right.
can't speak Latin. Like I don't know if it's an ancient language because you said broken Ascandian. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
if
It
it's
is
current.
sort of like a Latin Old English disconnect, but it's got like other stuff in it.
Like
It'd be
clicks
like
and stuff.
it's like you throw in a German word every once in a while.
I mean, like, so why were you coming to our hail tent? Or hi.
Right.
Like that. Well, we can try. Are the orcs? This is the part that I missed. Are they? You said they were slinking away, but like,
Yeah,
are we
that's
now
about it.
considering approaching them? That's it.
No,
Or we
no.
haven't done
I
anything
mean,
yet.
I tried to approach them, but they just slink back to their tent, and I'm not. Cages is not the guy who goes out to fight two orcs.
No, but
Yeah,
your cutting words are so intense.
if they can understand me.
Yeah, fair.
I could make a mom
yeah,
joke and they still wouldn't get it.
I don't know. I mean, we could try conversing with them and see if we can manage to communicate in any fashion.
What did they tell us about?
I mean, they
the orcs?
know.
Just-
They clearly know that we caught them, so they're gonna know why we're there. And so, if they can understand any form of our language, whether they choose to admit it or not is another question. But I'm sure they'll have an idea why we're there and what we're like. And if we point to the tent and be like, "Why were you coming towards our tent?" Like,
You tent.
they'll probably figure out the reason we're there, what we're saying. Whether they can communicate in response to us or not, I don't know. But
we can bring it up in the next tent, I guess. Well, now
yeah.
we just
or they'll just attack you.
yeah, I guess.
But I'm guessing that won't happen either, because unless they've been ordered to, they would probably be reprimanded severely for infighting.
Yeah.
But
Yes. Unless their intention is to kill one of us for whatever reasons.
well, yes, of course, and that's absolutely possible.
Who would they be targeting, though? I can't imagine anybody else except you, Dave, or Kane. They might be targeting you.
Yeah.
You're the only one
well,
of
yeah.
us who would be
They're
noteworthy.
probably guessing that you have. Actually, I think Dane is the only one so far telling us that they suspect that Kane.
I was just going to say, and if he was any sort of a
sorcerer.
spy, he might have told. Although, I mean, to be fair, anyone who was there would have seen what happened and either determining that I'm
Right,
a
they would all
sorcerer
know.
or that I truly have this power of the Scarlet King, which is also puts me probably in a depending on your opinion of religion and stuff, could also make me a target.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. I don't trust anyone.
Yeah, and anyway, the point is that none of us know enough to actually have a conversation with the orcs. I don't think, right? I mean, if anything, it'll be broken.
One of
Like,
these.
you fight like this, basically, right? That's pretty much it. You can't ask, well, do you have a differing religion? Is that where you're targeting the new Scarlet? We can't have conversations like
Gonna
that.
have a theological debate with them.
Right, it's not going to
Yeah,
happen.
do you have a theological difference you would care to discuss with myself and my colleagues?
You're gonna pull out like a sign from your backpack. It's like, well, my epistemology is actually very carefully traced.
So basically, there's like what could happen? They will either ignore you, right?
Yeah.
They will either
show
try to
off.
talk to you and you'll fail and you'll fight,
But
or
please,
they'll
I'm
kill you
interested to hear
anyway.
this exegesis.
I don't think I could, but I'm going to ask because I don't really think it would fall into sorcery, which is the magic that I'm familiar with.
Learn their
But-
language? Is that what you're thinking?
Well, yeah. Is there any sort of like a
Magical
almost like a
interpretation. Comprehend
Well, like-
language.
comprehend language? It would be your D&D thing, right? But
Mhm.
but like, or any sort of like a. I'm trying to think, and I don't think I can't see a natural thing there where this would happen. Like maybe like some sort of a field that would like translate, but I don't think that would be
Google
the case. I mean, if I
Translate.
wanted to,
Animism.
what's that?
The orcs are very shamanistic. So
Yeah.
animism would be a magic that they're very familiar with.
Yeah,
Tradition,
but I
right?
don't know. Like I don't have that as a skill. I have sorcery, so I don't think there's much I could tap into. But I don't know. Shamans are very natural of the earth as well, so I don't know if there's. But as far as the actual comprehension of it, I don't think that I would know something. And again, like I understand that. Okay. Okay, so from a communication standpoint, all right. So maybe
that would be like a way to tell them, like, I know.
okay.
What you know is however they interpret it.
Well, yeah, they might take it as a threat. It's like, oh shit, that's not a voodoo doll, I swear. Okay, so so suddenly I recall from knowledge, I am given the general, at least again, I'm stereotyping here, but orcs in general, they tend to be of this shamanistic belief system. We could, from my readings, I sort of remember certain structures or effigies that we could try to build one to kind of communicate that, you know, we understand, like I understand your beliefs. I'm not like almost as a peace offering. I just don't. I
Yeah.
can't say for sure that I know how they would interpret it. Yeah, like I don't know if they would take it as a voodoo thing. Like I will kill you if you do this again, and I will burn it. Like I don't know.
I place
But,
a hex on you and your mother.
Yeah, although I suppose if I don't look at it angrily and going, they might not think that. So we could try. My knowledge is limited. I know what they look like. It's basically a bundle of sticks that in a certain formation. We could try to kind of almost create a bond, but it's a crapshoot. I can't say how it will turn out because I don't know enough about their cultures to truly understand how they might interpret that, or just how they might interpret it in general, cultures
Okay,
aside.
but here, let's say they do want to make peace with us, join forces, whatever, and then attack everybody else. Right?
Mhm.
There's 9 of us if all 6 orcs, right, join,
Yeah.
and the 3 of us versus still 26, or no, it'd be like what, 17 people.
Mhm.
And the 2 of you are pretty much worthless as fighters, right?
As a melee fighter.
Right. Is that a situation that we want to get into? Probably not.
Well,
Not that cut and dry, no.
And then
If
the other
Having an
question
alliance.
is, the other thing is, if they were actually just, they wanted to kill one of us, and that's why they're looking at our tent and watching us, right? What's the likelihood that they'll be able to do it while we're in camp, surrounded by 17 other people? I mean, they
Well,
could
that's
do it
true.
at night, I suppose,
I don't
but
think that's what they were necessarily trying to do. Again, not that cut and dry. I think there was more to it. Or maybe they were sent to see what we have on us by the Eclipse, like by the leader. We don't know. So that's why I'm thinking not so much let's get them and take on the other 17 guys. Like
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's
I
more
mean,
just having some sort of an understanding that we're on the same side.
I like to think of it in the way that if there's 17 people who decide to turn on us, I'd rather have 6 more people behind my back rather than having to deal with 26 people behind my back.
Yeah, it's more just. I mean, it's the same sort of thing. I'm thinking of it more as a what's the word I'm looking for?
They're the
Can't think
most.
of my words
They're
today. It's
probably
just like
the easiest yet
trying to
the
be
hardest
civilized
people
with as
to
many
be
people as possible.
valuable to our side, at least to
Yeah,
support us.
yeah. I'm trying to be civilized to as many people as possible, so I have less people actively wanting to kill me.
mm,
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
if they get an order or they have, other means, fine. But everything I can have on my favor, I would rather have on my
Yeah,
favor.
and
So
I mean, you
how
can play it both ways. Like having Dane on our side means that we're going to have 17 people on our side if these 6 people are trying to come and kill us.
how confident are you in making this effigy of peace?
Like 5%.
Well, I think that pretty
I'll do the
much
95 then.
Yeah, I honestly, like I say, I remember it from some readings.
Hey, we've crit once before.
Yeah, I can't say. All I
if
know
he
is
fails horribly, it's literally like we think it means peace, but it actually means fuck you or something.
It's like when
That's pretty
when your
bad.
kid gives you your kid has pottery class and makes you this wonderful thing, and they give it to you with so much pride, and you're like, oh, it's a beautiful ashtray, and they're like, it's a pony, and like I make this thing, I'm like, oh, here's your effigy, and they're like,
Do you want to die?
yeah. So
I
that's
mean,
how I'm.
if you want to try it, I'm all for it. It's up to you.
It's literally just a suggestion. I'm not saying it's a good one. It's just something I
think at the very least, like if you get to talk to them, at the very least, I would like to know is why did they come to our tent? And if we can establish that, I'm happy with the conversation.
Okay, why don't we do this? I will try, if you want, as an offering of peace.
Right.
I can try to put together something if we can find sticks and whatnot. I can try to bundle them into a form that I understand should be accepted by them, and then we can go over and kind of present it as as an offering of a peace offering.
Yeah.
And just say,
we are friends.
Not
We have
I was gonna say not as something as cheesy friends, but
we come in
basically
peace.
we come in peace. Like, can you speak English or common? Excuse me. Can you speak common Ascandian? Or understand, like, and just see if we can open a line of communication. And then if they, like, not asking them right off the bat, why did you come to our tent? Because then they can just be like, oh, no comprende, but just try to get them to say something or acknowledge us. And then once we know they understand us, then we can try to get an understanding of like,
what's
up
dude?
with that, homie?
What's up, guys?
That's
yeah.
The effigy would literally just be a peace offering of like, hey, I am understanding of your background or of your belief system, hopefully. And who knows, maybe that'll reinforce with them that I am all powerful, or I am all knowing because I have this information of something that humans don't understand that about orcs. Like, no one's paid them any respect, probably. They're probably just meat shields and fighters, and we're going to them saying, hey, listen, we understand you as people. I'm way overthinking this. They're just going to stab me, but still.
Orcs are raiders. Would they really respect a sign of peace? I keep thinking Klingons, basically. For some reason in my head, it's like
maybe not peace.
They might respect bravery and courage and battle more than they respect. Oh, hey, here's a doll. Please be like my friend.
Well, you're not wrong, and I don't necessarily mean peace. More so respect of culture, and I think that could go a long way. Saying like, hey, I understand where you come from. We understand where you come from. We understand you're not.
I say we leave this to Dave. If Dave wants to do it, then he can do it and roll. If Dave doesn't want to do it, then we continue on with the trek towards the tree and to hang up Callum's body.
Do we do this now? I think we can do this like during the next cap.
Yeah, I think at this point, I mean, you're the one. I'm still sleeping at this point, really. If we're back in character, I mean, you just saw this, right? Or did you wake us up to go?
No, he woke us all up.
This is
you took a turn. Yeah, it's the next day. You took a turn at watch, and he told you.
Okay. Yeah, maybe next time we camp, maybe kind of while I'm on watch, I'll take the first watch this time. because I'm thinking about it, and throughout the day I'll try to kind of pick up sticks and stuff like that to use, and then I'll just kind of, it'll be like a craft I kind of do on my first watch, and just kind of seeing if I can put something together, and then if we have it when it's done, assuming I can put something together that's somewhat reasonable, like a reasonable facsimile of what I recall, then we can consider if they come over, or I can consider in the morning breaching conversation or something. So I don't know if that would be like an academics check, maybe, to see if I remember what the hell I'm doing. I don't know.
You can do that. You can like cross-reference yourself.
All right. Sorry, what does the plus mean again? That means I get another.
You roll the dice to determine if it's a success or failure. So if it's 3+, it's
Yeah.
potentially 3 success or 4 because you have to roll the plus.
Okay. So I get, my academics is 8+.
Right. So you have 8+?
Yeah.
That means you have 16 in your.
Well,
Your
no, my base
average-
is 5. My base is 5,
Your base is
and
5.
my levels is 3, so my rating is 8+.
Right.
Plus,
So it's 8. So no, if your rating is 8, your average is 4. If your rating was 9, then if you have
Yeah.
4+, that means you have 4 success and you roll 1 dice.
Oh, right, that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's okay. I already rolled, so I got a 4.
Which is the
Oh,
average.
right, with 8+, I
Yeah.
can take
Which is the average anyway.
4 and then roll 1, right? That's how it is,
That's
right?
a lot of
But
dice.
because your total rating was an even number, so there's no plus.
I don't know why I had plus written down. I thought. Oh, yeah, I thought I read something. I must have. It's fine.
8
This was
plus
back when I
the
first rolled it.
greatest sage to ever
8
live.
dice. 16 dice on average.
Oh, wouldn't that mean no? But wouldn't that mean
Kane is actually 300 years old.
I don't. I must have written it down. I must have misunderstood how to write it down, because it's definitely an 8. But I thought it meant like if I had 9+. But I guess if you're right, what you're saying, because 9 would just tell you you'd have. Yeah.
4+.
Anyway, whatever. I got a 4. All right.
Sure.
In terms of remembering
hmm
the fuck these effigies look like.
You're pretty certain that you know what it was supposed to look like.
I got this. I'll just
Now you have to create it.
I'll just roll a craft skill.
You even
Yeah,
have
but
craft.
craft
Do you have
while
craft?
you're on the walk, dragging corpses
Yes.
to a tree.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you
near
could
the
just
hot
draw it
sun.
with a dagger on their corpses, basically.
Yeah,
Just cut
oh,
into
no.
their
You know what would be
skin.
cool? You just take the sticks
Mark
from the
them
tree.
with symbols. Take 6 from the tree. Ooh.
Either way, I know
now
none of
I'm-
this.
now
I'm
I'm-
just pulling corpses right now.
Now
so.
I'm presenting an effigy from a death tree. Now it's definitely an aggressive stance.
Yeah, now this is like cursed as hell.
That's funny.
Okay, so do we reach the tree?
Speaking of trees, yeah.
Is it still
No.
as corpsey as ever?
They've started to go funny colors and make smells.
Oh, great.
There is, in order to the hanging up of shit, I need to know who is managing which corpse. This is very important.
Okay, I'll hang up Grom's corpse.
I'll hang out Callum then. I think that seems fair.
hmm
While Kane can go find sticks.
Yeah, King can go fight sticks. Okay, good.
This is a perfect
And
place for things to screw up and get a cliffhanger.
yeah. So the tree has a lot of soft mounds around it. It's looking healthy and flourishing as ever. All the bodies that were there, you can presume, are under these mounds. The tents and stuff are gone. That Maximus committed his first cold-blooded murder in.
What? I don't remember this.
I look over at Maximus. He's got a tear in his eye.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Early beginnings.
Like,
I remember.
My free tents.
Should have
We
taken
didn't
those
have-
tents. God
We
damn.
didn't have to flip off stun when we left after all.
Nah.
Or he just holds his hand to the teardrop tattoo that he gave himself and remembers where it came from.
What? Next.
Next. Okay, so Redver's going to call everyone to a halt and say, well, he's gonna like look over at you guys and say, well, get to work.
And we do. We start hanging those tents up, or not tents, but we start hanging the bodies up.
Put the tent in the gibbet cage. You've been a bad tent. Think about what you've done.
We start hanging the bodies up, and then
And then the bodies are hung up.
okay.
That's okay. And you said Kane was collecting sticks.
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
Such is fine.
Very important
Hmm.
job. More so, I figured I'd be doing it kind of as I saw stuff on the way, but yeah, we are toting them too. I'll collect some dead tree sticks as well. Yeah.
I'm going to be sending Kane a message.
Oh, this is a good one. A good
Waiting for the other shoe to drop here.
Speaking of which, a shoe just fell from a cage up there. Jeez.
Bunked you on the head.
I know, right?
And
I can only type so quickly.
With a lot of
And nothing more. You guys are done. You are going to be exhausted, though. We are going to incur fatigue for your day and 3/4 of dragging corpses trying to keep up with horses.
okay, how
I
does
called dibs
fatigue
on
work?
the metal band name.
How does fatigue work? What happens when we get fatigue?
I forget. I read these rules and I was so excited and then I forgot them.
You're
Flags of dice
you're
pulled.
not gonna be affected until a few days or something like that.
Yeah,
It's page 189.
189. I knew it was somewhere around there.
Yeah, it's once you pass a limit equal to hours equal to your body rating, then you suffer non-lethal wounds for each additional increment of time based on this body rating.
Right, so I'm going to give all of you a non-lethal wound.
Okay.
Whoa. Hopefully that we can keep it off in the tent.
You should be able to.
Yep.
Just for now, it hurts.
Yep.
And for all the earlier tent role playing, everyone gets a style point.
Whoa.
Yay.
And you have an experience point because you've put the Grum experience behind you.
Yay.
He put Grom where he belongs.
I
Mhm.
did.
I bet when you walked past this tree the first time, it was like, I'm going to put Grum in one of those cages.
And another tier comes to.
But this
And
time,
it-
Maximus is
it's
smiling.
Tear of joy, yeah.
So are we? Is it getting at this point? Are we getting close to another evening, or?
Yeah, after the unceremonious dumping of the corpses, you're going to head off at the fork into the north, and it's going to hit another evening. There'll be no other events.
Okay.
All right. So how's the orc plan?
Sorry, I'm just looking something up here. You continue without me.
You're the main
Sure.
component of the orc
Well,
clan.
okay. Fair enough. The
The
effigy
fact that
is.
you're looking at something tells me that there's
Well,
one
no,
with this plan
fair enough.
right now.
Okay, so yes. Am I done the effigy or no? Or is it no, this is when I'm gonna do it. So yes, I'll start working on the effigy, putting it together. And at this point, like I don't want to approach them at night. If they approach me while we're on watch, then I will present it. If not, my suggestion is we do it in the morning when we're kind of getting ready to get going. I don't want to approach their tent with it in case they do take it as some sort of an aggression or a threat. So I will spend the first, I guess I'll take the first watch, and then I'll kind of put it together. And I'm going to send you a message about something else I want to do on my first watch. And then if they don't come over, then I will leave the effigy for whoever is next on watch in case they come over when we can present it.
Okay.
Stop. Not you.
I'll be here.
So that's my plan for the watch. My watch anyway.
That's the plan for your watch. The orcs are not going to roll around for your watch.
Okay. So whoever's second watch, I'll hand off the effigy to.
Does
So when they
Maximus
come
want
over, just
to
throw it in
give
the-
a try of orc interactions?
Well,
Or is he just gonna have to do this again?
Cages is going to have to be the one to field this again.
Okay.
So there's going to be just one orc that's going to essentially march up
Huh.
to your tarpy lean-to thing,
Nice.
and he's going to stop in front of you. And he's going to point inside. He's going to like point towards the top, and he's going to say a word with like question punctuation, but you're not going to have a clue.
Does it sound like King or Scarlet or Kane or
You
any
might
of
as
our
well
names?
be listening to someone speaking Russian.
Okay. Good luck with that one, Cages.
I look back and I look back to the lean in. He's pointing at something, is he?
Yeah, he's pointing like in the direction of the thing.
Right. But I'm guessing when I look at where he's pointing, it's more of a general direction than a specific thing.
Yeah.
And I just give him like the shrug, like I don't know what you're saying and I don't know what you're pointing at. But I try to gesture to him to sit down.
Okay. And he's going to sit.
Okay.
And he's going to start drawing lines in the sand while like sort of muttering in the orc language. And it looks like he's drawing a map. And
okay.
Yeah. And he's going to circle a place. And he's going to like gesture. You can empathize very quickly. He's like saying, like, this is important.
The map, the location that he's circling, or
the location he's circling. He's like
Right.
making a point talking about like this place.
right? And I tell, like I've seen a few maps.
You've seen a few maps, but
Yeah.
the geography of this place you have no other frame
idea.
of reference right now.
Huh.
You don't really have a concept of what's out this way.
Okay. I just give him the shake head, like, nope, I don't know where you're talking about. That was a terrible time to bring up the effigy.
That's an interesting time.
Uh,
So he's gonna shake his head at your head shaking.
mhm.
Can we perception wake up from this?
Let me
Since we
try
hear-
drawing
Yeah, sure.
something in return. I'll try to draw like buildings, and I'm trying to draw
Okay.
like this is many buildings, like
Sure.
city.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to indicate like city, and maybe I'll just draw a stupid little hut to indicate
Yeah.
dug hole.
He'll-
And
He'll draw a lot of he'll draw like small little huts and then point again at his circled location.
we all don't come from the same place, right? I mean, I come from the city. Maximus comes from
Yeah,
someplace
Maximus.
small, and Kane
Yeah.
doesn't come from I mean, Kane's from Escondian, but he comes from somewhere else entirely, right?
Right. Like you guys are all from totally
Yeah,
different
we're
places.
we're all from totally different places. It's
And
quite impossible to really guess where he's saying. I mean, I
oh yeah.
could I could logically want to wake Maximus up because he can read maps and he probably has a better grasp of the lay of the land than I do.
hmm
Yeah,
Okay, so I'll wake up, and then I'll look
I'll just see
outside.
how
And you'll see them
I'll
like
just
drawing with sticks in the sand for
I'll
each
just see
other.
how
Alright,
annoyed
so-
Maximus is.
Okay, well, in that case, I'm also going to wake up Kane because he's literate and he's also seen maps before. So we're all awake and we'll all take a look at this map that he has drawn.
Okay, so I have skill in warfare, which is like planning and like planning war and formations and stuff like that. Do
Right,
I
right.
recognize this as any sort of formal? My guess when I see this, first of all, do I know? Can I tell on the map where he's circled, like where roughly it is?
Well, you're talking about like the scale of things, right? He's no cartographer, but it's
Well, of
easy for
course.
you to tell that this is basically like a planning, like you'd move soldiers around on a board thing.
Yeah.
He's highlighting a location in like a greater context for you.
So like, is there anything on the map for me to think that this would be the Eclipse's like home base? Like, is it north?
No.
No,
Like
Okay.
Cages
sounds like a
has started
village.
drawing a key with like houses and huts and stuff.
Yeah, and they drew huts, you said, or
Yeah.
tents.
So
He's circling
he's
huts.
so like this place is
Important.
for all intents and purposes smaller than one of the other two landmarks he's done.
Okay.
I get the feeling that he's asking us, are we from some place, or he's asking us, have we been to some place? But that we have no context of where that place could be, because it's not even our frame of reference. I mean, does Maximus have an idea of where he could be talking about? I'm not sure, based on landmarks. Maybe if you use a tree as a landmark. If I draw a tree, how relative is it to that place that he's mentioning?
Oh, if you draw the tree,
Yeah.
he's gonna kick some of the dirt over and reorient his drawing a bit.
Oh, this is on the
And-
ground, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a place that's on like in the direction you're going, essentially.
In
He's
the
drawing,
direction
like-
that we are going.
Yeah, he's drawing like
currently.
he's giving you like a slice of the northern region.
Right, but it's a smaller place. It's not the city.
Yeah. So it's like
So it's probably
along
gonna
the
be
road there's like
So
a
it's-
bigger settlement, and
So
then
it's
off away there's a smaller one, and he circled the smaller one.
is it on the way between the tree and the big city? Or it's a bit way off, like we have to take a detour somewhere in the middle.
You'd have to detour away for a little bit. It's not terribly far.
Right.
I wonder if it's where they came from. Like
That's
his home.
possible. But
then why
does
is he?
yeah, like does he want us to go there? But he's pointing at us. Well, like how are we related to that place if that's where they came from?
Yeah. Unless he's saying like he wants us to go and like help them.
Yeah, but why us? Like
Can we
what
tell?
we bring?
Can I tell with perception or because Kay just filled me in or anything like that on if it seems like they're at like you can I don't know how you can tell from an orc, but you can if someone's trying to like plead with you, you can usually get an idea
Yeah,
if they're
actually it's a
looking
good point. Yeah,
for help or if
I have
they're
empathy for that.
yeah,
And I
like
Do you have an empathy for that?
does it look like they're trying to like get us to help them with something? Or does it look like they're trying to tell us to go to hell and this is their hell? Like I don't know. Like basically get an idea of like
Here's a short bridge. Take a long walk.
yeah, or is it like when we get here we're gonna kill you, or like like that sort of thing? Like
Yeah.
I can't
mean,
imagine
empathy.
that's
I think empathy here will be great to like read the body language.
Sure.
yeah.
I could roll for it, but
Mhm.
I think I'll just go with Oh, it's a 3+, so I might as well just roll the 1 then.
Might as well.
And I get a
Hey!
4. I have 4 successes.
He's mildly concerned with getting you to understand, is the way I can put it.
Okay.
You know, like
So-
when you're in a foreign place and you really just want to tell them, no, I only want 1 slice of cake. Or please just tell me for the love of God where the bathroom is. I don't have time to know in your language what bathroom is.
All right.
Okay. So
He's
Tim,
no,
it
it's not
seems-
like urgent. He's not like
It's not a
upset.
plea, but
No,
it's
he's not
more
pleading.
like
He's just like there's like something he feels
there's
like it's
something
obvious and you're not getting
important.
it.
Yeah, there's something important about the place.
We've never been there before,
Yeah,
right?
we've never
The place he's
been
pointing to.
there.
We've never been
Yeah.
there before.
No,
We've
you
never
guys have never been this
there
side.
before.
we haven't been anywhere
But it's
like we
not a-
haven't been to the north this far
We
before
haven't been
either.
to the
have
You
we?
north.
haven't been anywhere
Yeah.
this side of the tree.
Why would
Yeah.
he point this place out to us? There's no
As-
reason to.
It's important, but not in an urgent kind of way. So how?
I gotta
what's-
pull Cages aside and say,
Right.
do you think it's worthwhile, out of context, but maybe trying to have a conversation with the leader's name again, Redwood or whatever,
Redver.
and basically just kind of saying like, I've heard of
Redwood's
some
what you can call him
settlements
in
up
bed.
here. Yeah.
That's
Um,
one thing. The other thing is, I think there's a reason why he's bringing this to us rather than Red.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. But I'm thinking like I'm thinking if we can, or maybe not him, but just
Wait,
trying to
wait,
if
stop.
we can.
The only thing that these orcs know about us is they might have heard
We are.
of you. They might know what the Scarlet King is. That's the only thing that they would know about us, right?
Well,
They
theoretically.
did understand to a certain degree the broken Ascandian, but so they could have been told other things, but
But if like he might be trying to tell you either like
something about the Scarlet King.
something about the Scarlet King, maybe that
Could
maybe
be.
someone we need to meet is at this temple or at this sorry, not temple, this hut or this town or whatever he's
Or they
pointing
could have a
to.
very similar chapel there, like Double. So that's possible.
Or like, yeah, that's a good point. I
So-
mean, I don't think we are going to be able to detour and go there.
Hold on. I'll point to myself
hmm
and I'll look at the orc and say, like, is it me that you're talking to, or is it him? And I'll point to Kane, and I'm expecting like a head shake yes or a head shake no at some point here.
He's going to mimic your point at Kane.
Kane. So it's definitely about Kane.
Okay, so you're probably right about the Scarlet King thing.
Yeah. Or at least magic.
Yeah, or yeah. So maybe at another time when they went to that place for, picking up people, something happened. Okay. I'm gonna nod.
And he's gonna nod and turn and walk away.
Huh.
What?
So he
That's
wants
it?
us to check something out there, is what he's trying to tell us.
Or
I don't
he
think
Like
wants
at
us to
the
follow
at the
him?
nod, it looked like he got the confirmation he wanted.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really know, and we're not getting anywhere. But I don't want him getting frustrated with us. So I'm trying to like say, okay, we understand, or at least I understand, whether I'm right or not. But I understand that he's trying to tell us that there's something there of importance that we should know about. I mean, we're not going to get any more information out of him right now. And I
Yeah.
don't want him getting frustrated, so that like I want to be able to approach him later with like follow-ups in some form if we need to. But the question is how it's not like we're going to be able to just detour and be like, hey, can we just stop off here for a bit? Like, because first of all, we don't want necessarily we don't know if we want them to know we want to go there. Because we don't know the reasoning.
Yeah, that's gonna be the difficult part. Because the only way I can see us going there is if they take us there. And
Either that or on the way back.
if the orcs wanna pull us aside, that's going to be a different problem.
Yeah.
This is our Starlight pit.
Either way, I mean,
would we-
there's nothing we can do right now.
No, would we have any idea? I mean, probably not, because it's not like it's to scale or anything.
Yeah.
But you said to a certain extent we know, like, this is off the cuff. Like, there's a good chance that this is not on a road, correct?
Right.
So we're not even going to know when. Like, if it was like a fork in the road, we could get there and then look at the orcs and see if they do anything. But it's like it's an arbitrary. You just start going west.
Yeah,
to
that kind
get
of thing.
there. Did we
We're
get an
gonna need to-
idea roughly of how far off based
Yeah, we're
on
gonna
just
need to know
general
a few
scale?
things. Yeah,
It's really hard to tell any form of
Yeah.
scale from this.
I was
right.
gonna say we could try to like run off. Like one of us could try to slip off during the night. Not that that's a good idea. Split the party.
If it
But I
takes
mean,
only
if it's
that
going to take a day, that's not really going to work.
Yeah. I think
Plus-
we can glean from Dan a few more stuff. Based
Yeah,
off
I don't think, because we don't even know where it is. We do roughly their direction, so like it's going to take a while to find it unless there's something specific drawing our attention to it. So I would say at this point, we plan to maybe go and check it out after we're leaving. Although he may very well be trying to give us some sort of a heads up, but at this point we don't. I mean, we don't know enough to act on it. My guess is that they went there for tributes. One of two things: they either went there once for tribute, and he's telling us, "Hey, there's another one of you there," or "This is my home." But I didn't get the impression that he's worried as much as he's just like, "Listen, dude, I'm trying to give you some information." Like,
Yeah.
I don't get the impression
wants-
that he's like,
he
"Please
wants-
save these people."
He wanted us to understand something and we understood it, and then he walked off.
Yeah, like I don't think it's a please help them. I think it's a hey,
Yeah, it's definitely not.
this is something that you might be interested in, and he
Yeah.
doesn't think that. I think it seems like they get the idea that we're not necessarily on board with this stuff, or
No,
maybe
they don't
that
seem,
they,
they
or
don't seem
maybe
on
that,
board on it either.
or maybe that knowing that we're going for this agreement, this other small town or whatever managed to get a different agreement by providing them something that they needed.
Mhm.
So he's saying like, hey, these guys were able to do it without giving tributaries.
Yeah,
Maybe
we can do it the same.
yeah,
But this,
that could be it, because that's if he knows what we're doing. But I mean, or he thinks we're the tributaries, in which case he's saying you're going to end up. I don't know. I really don't know. It could be anything.
There's nothing we can do about it. We just need to keep
Yeah.
going. That's all. There's
Yeah.
nothing right now that we can do about it at all.
Yeah.
Period.
No,
We can't go that way. We can't leave the group because we'll be killed. We need to actually go to the Eclipse anyway. If an attack will happen near that point at us, then we have people well, I guess we have more people that are protecting us since we're in this group of 26. If they want us to help that village, what can 3 people do anyway? You're not really the Scarlet King, you're just a sorcerer. Right?
Yeah.
They're expecting the Scarlet King to go there and do something, maybe. Who knows? It's just the information is just too vague. We just know for now there is something important there, and that's all we can do right now. We can look at it later, but that's it. We have to keep moving.
We still need to ask around for some things.
Yeah.
It's not enough to base a decision on it.
No, I agree. But it's good to know that it doesn't seem like they're against us.
Mhm.
It seems like he had a message to tell us,
Yeah.
more so than trying to scout us out or something.
Yeah.
I mean, he
guess
could be
there's some
he could
assurance.
be bullshitting us, but there seemed to be a lot more content, or like there seemed to be a lot more to this, and rather just like, oh crap, let's draw a map so they think it's something else. Like I feel like that was the reason he was approaching us, is to try to let us know this.
Agreed.
So at least I don't think their intent is to necessarily murder us.
Yeah. At least not hostile.
Not hostile, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess that's, in this day and age, this world, I suppose that's a plus.
Especially when you're orcs.
Okay,
Oh yeah.
It's approaching 2 hours. You want to end it here, or do you want?
Yeah, let's leave it on that mystery.
I feel like this makes sense as because we're gonna have to figure out what to do. Although I don't think there's much we can do, but I think the next step is continuing on to.
I like to get a briefing from Dane or our leader to see how far we have to go.
Anyway, okay. We'll do that next time. If you've been watching the playthrough, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We will see you later. Bye-bye.